What if I told you that the year 2026 could be the most dangerous year in modern human history, not because of one single event, but because of a perfect storm, a collision of global crises that are all heading toward the same point in time? We are talking about economic collapse. We are talking about military conflicts that could spiral out of control. We are talking about artificial intelligence reaching a point where even its creators cannot predict what happens next. We are talking about climate disasters that are no longer a warning, but a reality. This is not fear-mongering. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is an analysis based on real data, real trends, and real warnings from experts around the world. So sit back, pay attention, because what you are about to hear might change the way you see the next 12 months of your life. Let us start with the economy, because if the economy falls, everything else falls with it. Right now, the United States national debt has crossed $36 trillion. Let me say that again, 36 trillion. That number is so large that most people cannot even comprehend it. If you stacked $1 bills on top of each other to reach that amount, the stack would reach the moon and back multiple times. But here is the real problem. The interest payments alone on that debt are now exceeding $1 trillion per year. That means the United States government is spending more money just on interest than it spends on its entire military budget. Think about that for a second. Now combine this with the fact that inflation has not truly been defeated. Yes, the headlines say inflation is cooling down, but go to any grocery store, go fill up your gas tank, go try to buy a house. The prices are still crushing ordinary Americans. The housing market is in a bizarre state. Mortgage rates are hovering around 7%. Young people cannot afford to buy homes. Rent prices are at record highs in almost every major city. And here is what makes 2026 particularly dangerous. Many economists are warning that a massive wave of commercial real estate debt is coming due in 2026. We are talking about hundreds of billions of dollars in loans for office buildings, shopping centers, and commercial properties that were financed during the low interest rate era. When those loans come due and the property values have dropped significantly, banks will be left holding the bag. This could trigger a banking crisis similar to what we saw in 2008, maybe even worse. And it is not just America. China's economy is showing serious cracks. Their real estate sector has already started collapsing. Evergrande, Country Garden, these are massive companies that are defaulting on their debts. China's youth unemployment rate hit record levels. Their export numbers are declining. And when the world's second largest economy stumbles, the entire global supply chain feels the impact. Europe is not in great shape either. Germany, which has been the economic engine of Europe for decades, is officially in a recession. Energy prices remain high after the disruptions caused by the conflict in Ukraine. The European Central Bank is caught between raising rates to fight inflation and cutting rates to prevent a deeper recession. The bottom line is this: the global economy in 2026 is sitting on a knife's edge. One wrong move, one unexpected shock, and the whole system could come crashing down. Now let us talk about the military situation around the world. Because 2026 could be the year where one of these simmering conflicts boils over into something catastrophic. First, the Russia-Ukraine conflict. This war has been grinding on since February 2022, and despite what either side claims, there is no clear end in sight. Russia has shown that it is willing to sustain enormous casualties and economic pain to achieve its objectives. Ukraine, backed by Western weapons and funding, has shown incredible resilience, but is also facing exhaustion. Here is what makes 2026 dangerous. There are growing concerns that Russia might escalate, whether through the use of tactical nuclear weapons, attacks on NATO supply lines, or cyber attacks on Western infrastructure. Every month this conflict continues, the risk of escalation increases. And then there is the big one: Taiwan. United States intelligence officials have repeatedly warned that China could be ready to move on Taiwan by 2027. But many analysts believe that the preparation phase, the phase where the real danger begins, is 2026. China has been conducting unprecedented military exercises around Taiwan. Their navy has grown to become the largest in the world by number of vessels. They have been stockpiling resources, building up amphibious assault capabilities, and testing Western resolve. If China moves on Taiwan, We are not talking about a regional conflict. We are talking about a potential World War III scenario. The United States has strategic ambiguity about whether it would defend Taiwan militarily. But recent statements from American leaders suggest that yes, America would intervene. A conflict over Taiwan would involve the two largest economies in the world and the two most powerful militaries. It would crash the global economy overnight. Taiwan manufactures over 60% of the world's advanced semiconductors. Every phone you use, every computer, every car with modern electronics, they all depend on chips from Taiwan. Cut that supply off, and the technological world goes dark. Now, add the Middle East to this equation. The situation between Israel and its neighbors remains extremely volatile. Iran's nuclear program continues to advance. The Houthis have demonstrated the ability to disrupt global shipping through the Red Sea. Any major escalation in this region could send oil prices skyrocketing, which would pour gasoline on the already fragile global economy. And let us not forget North Korea. Kim Jong-un has been testing more missiles than ever before. Their nuclear arsenal is growing, and with the world's attention divided between Ukraine, Taiwan, and the Middle East, North Korea might see an opportunity to make a bold move on the Korean peninsula. The world has not seen this many simultaneous potential flashpoints since World War II, and that should terrify every single one of us. Now here is a threat that most people are not taking seriously enough. Artificial intelligence. In the last 2 years, AI has advanced faster than almost anyone predicted. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and dozens of other AI systems have demonstrated capabilities that were supposed to be decades away. But here's the dangerous part for 2026. We are approaching what experts call artificial general intelligence, AGI. This is the point where an AI system can perform any intellectual task that a human can do, and potentially do it better. The leading AI companies are in an arms race. OpenAI, Google DeepMind, Anthropic, Meta. They are all pushing as fast as they can to reach AGI first. And in this race, safety is often taking a back seat to speed. Several prominent AI researchers have resigned from major companies, warning that the safety protocols are not keeping up with the capabilities. Geoffrey Hinton, often called the godfather of AI, left Google specifically to warn the public about the dangers. But the immediate danger for 2026 is not some science fiction scenario where robots take over the world. The immediate danger is threefold. First, job displacement. AI is already replacing jobs in customer service, content creation, coding, legal research, data analysis, and dozens of other fields. By 2026, experts estimate that millions of jobs could be eliminated or fundamentally transformed. And unlike previous technological revolutions, this one is happening so fast that workers do not have time to adapt. Second, deepfakes and misinformation. We are heading into a world where you cannot trust anything you see or hear. AI can now generate videos of anyone saying anything. It can clone voices perfectly. It can create entirely fake news articles that are indistinguishable from real journalism. In 2026, with elections happening around the world, this technology could be weaponized to manipulate public opinion on a scale we have never seen before. Third, autonomous weapons. Military organizations around the world are developing AI-powered weapons systems. Drones that can identify and engage targets without human approval. Cyber weapons that can autonomously attack enemy infrastructure. The ethical and safety implications of this are staggering. The fundamental problem is that AI development is moving faster than our ability to regulate it, understand it, or control it. And 2026 could be the year where we see the first major AI-related catastrophe. And if the economy does not get us, if the wars do not get us, if AI does not get us, Mother Nature might. The last few years have shattered climate records. 2023 and 2024 were the hottest years ever recorded in human history, and the trend is accelerating, not slowing down. In 2026, scientists are warning about several critical tipping points that we may cross. The Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation, which is the ocean current system that regulates weather patterns across the northern hemisphere, is showing signs of significant weakening. If this system collapses, Europe could experience dramatic cooling, while other regions see extreme warming. Weather patterns worldwide would be thrown into chaos. The Arctic ice is melting at unprecedented rates. Permafrost in Siberia and Canada is thawing, releasing massive amounts of methane, a greenhouse gas that is 80 times more potent than carbon dioxide over a 20-year period. This creates a feedback loop. More warming leads to more methane release, which leads to more warming. We are already seeing the consequences. Wildfires in Canada and the western United States have become annual catastrophes. Hurricane seasons are producing more intense storms. Flooding events that were supposed to happen once every 500 years are now happening every few years. But here is what makes 2026 particularly concerning: the agricultural impact. Global food production depends on predictable weather patterns. When those patterns break down, crops fail. And when crops fail in multiple major agricultural regions simultaneously, we get a global food crisis. We already saw a preview of this when the Ukraine conflict disrupted grain exports and caused food price spikes across Africa and the Middle East, leading to increased instability and migration. In 2026, a combination of drought in key agricultural regions, extreme heat events, and disrupted supply chains could push food prices to levels that trigger social unrest in vulnerable nations. History has shown repeatedly that when people cannot feed their families, revolutions follow. Now here is what makes 2026 truly terrifying. It is not any one of these scenarios in isolation. It is the fact that they are all happening simultaneously, and they are all interconnected. An economic collapse would weaken nations' ability to respond to military threats. Military conflicts would accelerate economic decline and disrupt supply chains. AI disruption would amplify both economic instability and military dangers through job losses and autonomous weapons. Climate disasters would strain already weakened economies and create migration crises that fuel political instability. This is what analysts call a polycrisis, a situation where multiple global crises interact and amplify each other, creating a cascade of failures that becomes almost impossible to manage. The world's institutions, the United Nations, the World Bank, NATO, the World Health Organization. These were all designed for a world with one or two crises at a time. They were not designed for a world where everything goes wrong at once, and the political leadership in many countries is more divided, more polarized, and more focused on short-term domestic issues than at any point in recent history. The international cooperation that would be needed to navigate these challenges is simply not there. So what do we do with this information? Do we panic? Do we hide? Do we give up? Absolutely not. The reason I'm telling you all of this is not to scare you. It is to prepare you. Because the people who understand what is coming have the ability to make decisions that protect themselves and their families. Financially, this means reducing debt, diversifying investments, and building emergency savings. Having cash reserves and essential supplies is not paranoid. It is prudent. In terms of information, this means learning to verify what you see and hear. Question everything. Develop critical thinking skills. Do not let deepfakes and misinformation manipulate your decisions. In terms of community, this means building strong local networks. Throughout history, the people who survive crises best are not the ones with the most money or the biggest bunkers. They are the ones with the strongest communities. And in terms of awareness, this means staying informed. Understanding these risks does not mean living in fear. It means living with your eyes open. The year 2026 does not have to be a catastrophe, but pretending that everything is fine when the warning signs are flashing red everywhere is not optimism. It is denial. Stay informed, stay prepared, stay connected. If this video opened your eyes, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because I will be covering each of these scenarios in much greater detail in upcoming videos. Until then, stay safe out there.